Howdy. Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Howdy.
Yeah, that's a pretty good response compared to everybody else's. Alright, so today we're going to talk about some monitors. Let's start first things off. Does anybody know what a monitor is?
It's something to view output from.
Pretty much. It's very basic what you're going to get out of it. Does anybody know what they're usually made out of?
Glass.
Yeah, I got some glasses in them. Anybody know like the layers or anything about that? Or different types maybe? Yeah, you got LCD, LED, you got OLEDs, the ULED, QLED. Then we got all kinds of different little bitty things like that. So what really makes it a monitor is it just a computer screen, like a smartphone screen, a gaming rig screen with like 1320 by like 1,000 something 32-inch flat screen TV, or what really makes it a monitor? What I usually think is on here would make it anything that's like, you're gonna, like Marshall will say, you got the viewer where you're gonna display everything. That's pretty much what's gonna make it a monitor. But the difference is like on the smartphones there, they got like a little bitty like screens, they're called displays. But then once they're all on there, come out together, it makes it into a monitor. Does anybody have any smartphones out there? For sure, pretty much everybody. See, most of those usually have all kinds of different types. You got the LCD and you got the OLEDs or the AMOLEDs on there. Does anybody have an AMOLED screen? You should do. You know what it's made out of?
Nope.
You know what makes it an AMOLED?
An OLED?
An AMOLED?
No.
See, usually it's just the different types of processes of how they're made there. Like, so usually, on like the LCD, they'll have, it's like a liquid crystal display there. So it'll be, you get your backlight, which is usually a crystal cathode, and then you get a couple different layers of filters and all kinds of other like polarizers and stuff, and then that'll go through a little color filter to make it into a picture. And then with the AMOLED, they kind of use more or less like the OLED technology, but with a slightly different twist on it. And then what we're going to talk about this last little bit here is going to be the main three different types. We got our LCD, the liquid crystal display we're talking about, and then we got our OLED, which is an organic light emitting diode, and we got plasma. Has anybody ever had a plasma TV? Ian, what's good about it? It works.
It's supposed to make like better color than like LED or LCD.
Yeah, plasma is usually known for pretty good color. Does anybody know any drawbacks of plasma?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, they get hot. If you ever played any games on a plasma TV, you have to worry about it burning in. If you keep it on there too long, you'll see your little HUD throughout your TV shows and everything else. Does anybody know anything about the OLEDs? What makes them good? What makes them bad?
Pure black.
Yeah, the OLEDs are pretty good with their color contrast because they don't have a light background. They have their own light in their pixels themselves, so you can get a truer black on there. And then, you ever watched like a movie and like the credits roll up and you'll see like it say in conclusion and it'll have like all their names and everything. You'll see like a little like white halo around it. You ever notice that? That's because on the LCDs or the LEDs, I should probably say more clearly. Usually you can only turn off so many LEDs before you can't have any color. So you'll have to have a screen right here. And you can only turn off like one row or about like that. And so all that light will have to come through somewhere, and so it usually makes like a little white halo through there. But on an OLED there, they can do that without having the backlight on, and they have each individual pixels light up, so you get a true black and like a nice, pretty good color. The only thing bad about the OLEDs is that they're kind of expensive right now. Anybody know what kind of listing prices are going on right now? For like an average TV?
A few 1,000.
1,000. Yeah, a few thousand is what you're going to pay probably minimum to get one. And then even in like smartphones, the screens with OLEDs or AMOLEDs, they're going to be pretty expensive. Usually the flagship phones, like the Galaxies, that probably I think like the S7 and above, usually have the OLEDs and the AMOLEDs. The new iPhones that got those Retina displays and everything, those are all pretty high-end little screens and displays there. So I got a couple of pictures of different TVs here. It's kind of what I was talking about before. You got the LCD. It's going to be usually it's cheaper TV. They're pretty thin compared to like the old TVs. Anybody remember how those giant boxes? Oh yeah, those boxes weigh about 50 pounds a piece. If you get a big 24-inch one or something like that, you're gonna have to get 2 or 3 people to carry the thing across. And now you can get you a 55-inch TV and carry it by yourself to the room, as long as you can fit it in the door. And then the plasma, usually you don't really see those in monitors like computer screens and cell phones as much as you do in TVs. They're usually bigger TVs and everything because they got a lot more like kind of workings in the background. You wouldn't really want to carry it because they get real hot, like Luke was saying. That wouldn't be too good to slap on your face and sit there and burn your face off a little bit. And then we got the OLED, like I said, picture. More expensive, get your deep black, and there's no blacklight or anything in there. But what really makes them, like how are they made? I got a couple little diagrams up here. We got an LCD right there, we got all our different little panels and different layers on there. I got a quick little video that's going to talk about that. And then we got our plasma over here. It's going to show you your different electrodes, your little plasma chambers and everything else in there. We got a little short clip on that one, about a minute and a half. And we got our OLED one here, it's pretty cool. Does anybody know something else that's pretty cool about the OLEDs? About their newest technology they're doing now? They're actually making it to where you can bend them. So, anybody seen those wallpaper TVs Samsung has coming out? So they're pretty cool, aren't they? But what they're wanting to do is they're wanting to make like a TV the size of this that you can roll up and put in your backpack. They're kind of pretty pricey now. So if you thought the OLED TVs were expensive before, these ones are even more expensive. Or if you've seen those Samsung TVs that are like the wallpaper one, the real thin one. Anybody seen that one? Yeah, they're pretty cool too. They're also very expensive. I'll go ahead and show this little Linus Tech Tip video here.
One of the most confusing things about buying a TV is all these different terms that get thrown around. LED, LCD, plasma, CRT, the BGs. We're going to explain what all those things are as fast as possible. The most common display type these days are LCDs. That stands for liquid crystal display. It involves having a backlight, usually fluorescent, with an LCD screen in front of it. The LCD screen is where the images and the colors actually come from. One of the drawbacks of LCD is that it can never produce true blacks because that screen would have to become completely opaque or solid in order to get a true, rich, deep black. However, the advantages of LCD are that it's relatively inexpensive these days, and unlike traditional CRT tube TVs, they are extremely thin. The next TV type, LED or light-emitting diode, is actually a bit of a misnomer because an LED TV is just an LCD TV, that is a liquid crystal display panel, with an LED backlight instead of a cathode backlight. This gives it a couple of advantages. Number one is lower power consumption. Number two is even thinner form factors because they're not nearly as bulky. And number three is that with many high-end LED arrays in the back of the TV, you can actually enable a feature called micro dimming. So that is to say that the LCD goes black and the LED behind it in that zone can even turn down or turn as low as it can to make the blacks much more true and much more rich. So LED TVs tend to be just higher-end LCD TVs. Plasma TVs have turned into a bit of a value option over time. They have excellent black levels because instead of relying on a backlight with a screen in front of it, the plasma display actually outputs its own light. So that means it doesn't have to output light. So very, very deep blacks. You also get extremely fast response times, making plasmas great for gaming. The disadvantage of plasmas is that compared to especially high-end LCD or LED type TVs, the colors can be a little bit washed out if you are in daylight or an environment where you don't have a dark home theater to watch it on. And because the front of the display has to be glass, they tend to get a fair amount of glare, making it more difficult, again, if you don't have true blackness to watch your TV in. At the last minute, I decided we should include a segment on OLED. So while it's not really available in the mass market today, OLED addresses some of the issues with LCD, such as slow response times, so not too much sharper luminosity, great quick reading, as well as being not very true to light deep blacks, because OLED, like plasma, emits its own light rather than relying on backlight with a panel in front of it. But
And so that one pretty much summarizes everything up there that I was talking about the OLEDs, plasmas, and LCDs. I'm not going to say there's mainly, the only difference between LCD and LEDs is just going to be the different lights on the back. You're going to get a more true color on there, on the back one there. And then I got a quick little video here that's showing exactly how the OLED, how it actually works and all the different layers there. He's going to show you a quick little layer there.
Substrate. And on top of that, it's an ITO film, then we form a stack of very thin organic material coatings, anywhere from 5 nanometers to about 200 nanometers, depending on your device construction. It can be anywhere from about 5 to 10 different coatings that we stack on top of each other. To make a white device, typically we form 3 emission layers, red, green, and blue. And we combine emission from those layers forms white light. After the emission layers, typically there's an electron transport layer, and the cathode acts to inject electrons into the device. It's also a reflective material, which is very important. If it's not a reflective metal, a lot of the photons will be absorbed at that interface. In the off state, it's a mirror. Basically, you can see a reflection. What you're seeing is a reflection off the aluminum reflective cathode. The OLED materials are very efficient. They can efficiently generate photons. We can create an OLED device that's about 30 to 40 lumens per watt efficacy without using any extraction technology.
That one right there is just a pretty quick little demonstration of how the actual OLEDs are made there. And they're pretty good. It's like that little bitty block has there, what it's saying is about 30 to 50 watts there. And you know, that's pretty good for how little there is and all these got going on with that. And got this one right here is going to be a quick little demonstration on how the actual plasma TV works and how they actually get in there, and he's going to take it apart and talk about everything that makes it plasma.
The plasma screen. It displays pictures from a video signal, much like any television. Except that to display those pictures, it relies on a fourth state of matter. A fourth? Normally, matter limits itself to solid, liquid, or gas. The plasma screen relies on yet another state of matter, called plasma. As a result of energy transfers within this very unique state of matter, this screen can display pictures. Okay, but how does it work? The plasma screen, the housing, the power supply, the multimedia interface, the electronics, the video card, and finally the surface upon which pictures are displayed, the famous plasma module. It's made up of 2 thin plates of glass stuck to one another. It's here where, thanks to plasma, pictures are created. But to understand how, it's time to do some shattering. It all starts with an incoming video signal. For example, through a cable. The signal is sent to the video card, where it's decoded, and to the electronic circuits controlling the appearance of pictures in the plasma module. More than 2 billion electrical impulses are sent to the plasma module every second. The module's 2 glass plates are covered with transparent electrodes. And in order to transform these electrical impulses into pictures made of colored light, the plasma module needs plasma. The transformation happens between the electrodes, in the pixels. They're tiny cavities engraved on the rear glass plate and trapped under the front glass plate, laid out in a 1024 by 768 grid. There are precisely 786,432. Each pixel constitutes 1 point on the picture being displayed. Each pixel is divided into 3 subpixels. The bottoms of the subpixels are coated with phosphor, a substance that gives off light when excited by ultraviolet rays. When that happens, the first subpixel gives off red light, the second gives off green light, and the third, blue light. By combining these 3 colors, each pixel can produce 549 million different colors. The question now becomes, how are the ultraviolet rays required to light these subpixels produced? The answer is the plasma. Each subpixel is filled with a mixture of gas, xenon and neon. When an electrical impulse of about 300 volts rushes through a subpixel on its way to the electrodes, electrons from the gas mixture are violently torn off and suddenly float freely. That drastically changes the state of the mixture. It's no longer gas. It's now plasma. It's a highly energized state of matter, but it's a state that lasts only as long as the electrical discharge. As soon as the discharge ends, the freed electrons immediately return to their places, and the plasma once again becomes gas. What's important is that as they return to their places, the electrons release their surplus energy in the form of ultraviolet rays. It's these rays that excite the subpixel, which gives off light that combines with the light given off by the 2 other subpixels, and together, they light up the pixel. Every second, the plasma screen sends more than 2 billion electrical impulses into the subpixels in order to turn the gas there into plasma. The sole purpose being the ultraviolet emissions given off once the plasma returns to its gas state. Paul?
Alright, that was a quick little thing on there. Does anybody have any questions on any of those videos? Anybody got anything knocking around in their brain?
Have
Yeah.
you seen the new Samsung Fold? It actually folds, so it's got the AMOLED
The AMOLED.
in it, and the screen is like a 7.6, and
Yeah,
it folds out.
like the actual smartphone one that's like a tablet and you fold it into a smartphone.
Yes,
I've seen those. Those are pretty cool looking. Those pretty much like they use the AMOLED technology like I was talking about before that makes it real flexible and easy to move. And then they just add a couple things to it to make it to where it's not going to rip in half or break in half when you do that. And then, anybody got any questions before we move on to this last quick video? Alright, I got one last video here. It's going to be talking about there it is. About how the LCD actually works there. And it's going to be a quick little video there for you. We'll get you ongoing.
If you were to zoom in on the monitor you were using to watch this video, you would see thousands of small red, green, and blue dots. 3 of these grouped together make up one picture element, or pixel for short. When you split up each pixel, you will see a backlight, 3 color filters, and polarizers. As light leaves the backlight, it travels along different planes, including the horizontal and vertical planes. The first polarizer only allows light traveling along the horizontal plane to pass through it, and onto the color filters. With another polarizer that only allows light to pass along the vertical axis, all the horizontal light waves are blocked, so no light reaches the color filters. This is where the liquid crystals come into play. If you were to look closely at one of these liquid crystals, you would see a transparent electrode on the front and the back, as well as etched glass on the front and the back. Liquid crystals typically orient themselves in random directions until the horizontally etched glass in the rear and the vertically etched glass in the front force them to twist into a predictable pattern. As light passes through the compressed liquid crystal, it naturally follows the path of the molecules, so that any light traveling along the horizontal plane exits along the vertical plane. By reintroducing the electrodes and passing electricity through them, we can get the molecules to align themselves in the direction of the electric flow, causing light to no longer twist when passing through the liquid crystal. When we place these crystals back into the pixel, we can see that the light from the backlight will pass through the horizontal filter, get twisted into a vertical position by the liquid crystals, and then flow through the vertical polarizer to the color filters. However, if we turn on the electrodes, then the light is no longer twisted by the liquid crystals and stops at the vertical polarizer. By adjusting the amount of electricity that flows through each set of electrodes, we can control how much light reaches each color filter, and therefore what color is seen on the display. We generally talk about colors on the display in terms of how bright the red, green, and blue are in each pixel, from 0 to 255. If all three numbers are 0, the color on the display appears black, and if all are 255, then the display appears white. As you increase the amount of red, green, and blue in each pixel, you will see different colors appear on the screen. The monitor adjusts the amount of electricity flowing through each liquid crystal one by one, row by row, around 60 times per second. This has been a short look at how LCD monitors work.
Alright, that's my last little video there. Alright, so does anybody have any questions on the LCD, OLEDs, or plasma, or anything? Anything at all? Nothing knocking your brain off or nothing? Alright, well that concludes my presentation there.